2 managerial vacancies. How can it be, JP, that we've already had all this managerial turnover and there are still 2 empty chairs? What's the latest in San Diego and Milwaukee?
Yes, good morning once again. I had a good laugh at the Wilson Ramos press conference. We'll see if today's lineup can equal the theater of that moment there with Brodie Van Wagenen and Wilson Ramos years ago. But we do know this, as you mentioned, 2 teams still looking for a new skipper. The Padres, I believe, are a little bit closer to making their decision. I was told last night by the middle of the week we will have a new skipper there. There are the 4 names that we know have interviewed. Mike Schilt, Ryan Flaherty, both internal candidates. Benji Heel and Phil Nevin. Nevin was the last of that group of 4 to interview. I was told he interviewed
There's no
very
mystery
well.
manager?
There are some mystery candidates, Harold. I was told yesterday, I truly do not know the identity of said mystery candidates, other than to say that there are multiple candidates in addition to those 4 that are still under consideration. Again, the Padres, I'm told, narrowing things down. We may have, Maddie and Harold, another news conference to announce that the Padres managers will keep your midday schedule open for the balance of the week in terms of that. But again, they are nearing a decision. Now, the Milwaukee Brewers. A couple names there. We know that Pat Murphy already interviewed there, of course. He's a longtime bench coach to Craig Counsell. He was briefly the interim manager of the Padres. He has interviewed. We also know that Don Mattingly has been a candidate there with the Milwaukee Brewers, too, and reportedly Clayton McCullough, the Dodgers' very highly regarded first base coach, is among the candidates in Milwaukee as well. So stay tuned there. We don't know yet how close they are to making a decision, but we do know, again, probably the Padres first, then the Brewers may make their decisions by the end of this week.
Hey, what's taking the Padres so long?
I'll tell you what's taken them so long is that A.J. Preller is the prince of puzzling. He's the master of mystery. He doesn't want anybody to know what he's doing. He's probably down in Mexicali as we speak, looking through some, strange league and trying to find the next great star. Like, he likes to go deep in the weeds, and that's how he operates, and that's how he prefers it. That's probably why it's taking so long. Am I right about that, JP?
That's exactly right, Matt. AJ does have a bit of mystery around the way that he plays. Actually, I'll say this. AJ showed up to one morning in the GM meetings fresh off of playing pickup hoops. We were all talking about who potentially the best basketball player is among the current GMs in baseball. And AJ's got a really strong reputation, and I thought it was AJ. But then Stephanie Apstein of SI reminded me, Chris Young. Chris Young played hoops at Princeton. So you've got Chris Young, reigning World Series champion GM. Chris Young is in the top spot. We believe AJ is somewhere in the top 5.
Cashman's pretty good too, man.
Yes. No, you're right. And I'll send it back to you on this. I did love the note about how Torey Lovullo, during the course of the National League Championship Series, brought the Diamondbacks coaching staff and front office to play a pickup hoops game at the Palestra. What an awesome team bonding experience to play in that cathedral of college hoops.
There is no managerial vacancy as we move on, JP, in Atlanta. In fact, not just the manager, that entire coaching staff, one of the strongest in the sport. We're not the first to say that. But what would be the offseason priority or priorities for a team that finished the regular season with the best record in baseball and then was kind of unceremoniously bounced in the division series in a second straight year?
Starting rotation, Matt. Starting rotation indeed. And a couple names have really emerged as strong possibilities for the Atlanta Braves. Aaron Nola and Sonny Gray. Both free agents right now. Of course, Sonny Gray from Smyrna, Tennessee, so not far at all away from Atlanta. It'd be something of a homecoming for Sonny after he put together some Cy Young candidate caliber numbers there with the Minnesota Twins. And then Aaron Nola, very much in demand. We've seen how well Aaron has pitched during the course of his career in the postseason, especially with the Philadelphia Phillies. So the interest in both of them is very strong. And I believe when you look at this lineup that they've got, Matt and Harold, how strong and cost-controlled their position player group is, they have the ability to go out there and spend on a free agent pitcher because of how disciplined they have been with their position players. And let's remember this, too. Max Fried, a free agent after 2024. So you would ideally like to have somebody like Nola or Gray signed for the long term to ensure against the potential departure of Max Fried following 2024.
Boy, I can already see Sonny Gray down there in that uniform, in that ballpark. It feels like a pretty good fit. Anybody want a 5-time All-Star reliever who's one of the nastiest in the game? Josh Hader is out there. Where are the conversations on his free agency?
Matty, great question. I think one thing is really interesting that we saw even among the teams that played deep into October, and indeed even the one that won it all in the Texas Rangers, they had some bullpen questions. So I'm going to go straight to those teams that are either trying to repeat as World Series champs like the Rangers or get there like the Phillies when you consider the struggles of Craig Kimbrell and the overall lack of reliable bullpen innings they had late in those games in the NLCS. I look at both the Rangers and Phillies as strong candidates to sign Josh Hader. You mentioned him there, the multiple-time All-Star. He is, I believe, the top of the class of free agent relief pitchers. There are some good ones out there, maybe even some underrated names. Stevenson's another one that I think fits that description after what he did with Tampa Bay. But Hader, when you think about his pedigree, look at those numbers from this past year. A 1.28 ERA, 33 saves. He's the best around, and I think when you consider the Padres and the fact that they're potentially going to move Juan Soto, probably hard for them to re-sign Josh Hader. So I would say, again, those two teams, Rangers, Phillies, top of the list pursuing Josh Hader.
I think Hader's going to have a huge market, JP, because now he signs a multi-year deal, which this will be if he signs. You don't have to close every night. Give me my 3 outs, my 4 outs, I got my money. He becomes more valuable. Even a team that has a lockdown closer now says, hey, we go back-to-back with 2 guys, we got a chance to make a run. And I think that's been the biggest challenge with a guy like him coming up to make your money. Once you make your money, okay, I don't need to go out and save every game.
That's an excellent point. It's sort of like the Andrew Miller plan with Cleveland years ago, where Tito was using him in different roles. And a final point as I send it back to you guys, remember this, it's a busy week overall in the industry. Tomorrow, the qualifying offer deadline, we'll see if there's any activity there. I expect all the free agents who got it will reject it. And then Wednesday is the protection deadline, where you've got to protect your guys who are Rule 5 eligible, which always means a lot of trade activity. So stay close. This week, a busy week in the industry.
Busy week indeed. JP whetting our appetites for the week that is. JP, we appreciate it, man.